Hey everybody, so this is going to be a completely different video from what I normally do. This is going to be more of a like a tutorial style video. So this is going to be specifically for No Limits Coaster 2, which is a roller coaster simulation or designer. So with that being said, typically for the No Limits Coasters videos that I do, they'll be usually original creations in realistic parks or like real parks, or recreations of rides in real parks. So with that being said, the way I typically do a most accurate recreation as possible is I will take an image from Google Earth and overlay it on the No Limits park file. And I've gotten a lot of questions on how to do that over the years. So with that being said, I'm going to finally show you guys how to do it, because I've explained it in comments a few times on the videos, but I figured it'd be easier to do a video so I wouldn't have to write out a comment or refer to the original thing on how I figured out how to do this. So with that being said, the first thing you're going to need is Google Earth Pro. I'll see if I can put a download link in the description. If not, it's a free program. You can find it on Google. You can probably search it up pretty easily. So with that being said, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to find the park that you're going to want to use. So I'm just going to look at Great Adventure. So with that being said, if you do search it up, what's going to happen is there's going to actually be a little name of the location on the map. So with that being said, when you save the image, which I'll show you how to do in a second, this is actually going to pop up. So what you're going to want to do is, in the search bar up to the left here, you're going to highlight everything, delete it, and then search again, and it's saying we can't understand this location, but it'll clear the pin and the name of the location on the map. So now with that being said, the next thing you want to do is going to go to File, then Save, and then you'll see in the drop down menu here, Save Image. So then it's going to bring up a little thing. You're going to want to hit Resolution, which is in the top left corner here, and set it to maximum. Now yours may be different depending on your monitor or what your graphics card or whatever it might be. But with that being said, just set it to the absolute maximum thing, and then you're going to take it and you're going to make it a perfect square. So you're going to drag it from the side here and make it a perfect square. If you notice up in the top here where the resolution is, you'll actually see it changing numbers. You're going to match the two numbers. Okay, there you go. So now it's a perfect square, and then you're going to want to because obviously it's going to change the image around a little bit. You're going to want to make sure you position your image to make sure it is where you want it to be. So I'm just going to zoom in on the park here. And now the next thing you're going to want to do is hit Save Image. And as you can see, I actually have a bunch of images here. And we'll just name it, for the video, just test. Okay, so once you have your image saved, what you can do is you can actually find something straight or, something easy to measure in the park area. So let's just measure, let's see here. Let's just measure the Dark Knight show building. That'll be a good thing to measure. So you're going to, there's actually an in-program ruler you can use, and it's just under Tools, and you click Ruler, and then you can move this out of the way if you need to. Then you take the measurement of what you need to measure, and now we know that the Dark Knight building is about 155 feet. So with that being said, just leave that there for now. Then you're going to go into No Limits, and I'm going to create a new file for this simply because, like I said, I already have. I'll name it the same thing before. Obviously, you can use whatever park file you would like, whatever name you like. It does not matter what name you have to use. So now you have a blank park file or whatever it might be that you want to put your park file in. And then what you're going to do is you're going to hit Terrain. Then Terrain Settings, and you can do one of two options. You can be like me and not care, or you could move this image into your park file. So it should have saved to your pictures. As you can see right here, it did. So what I recommend you do is, I don't do this myself, but what I recommend you do is you actually copy the image, and then you go to where your No Limits files are, which mine is in Documents, and then you just go to your park file, which, wow, I have a lot of parks, I just realized that. And then you paste the image in the park file. So it's in the park file base, so if you ever move the park file by accident, it'll stay in and nothing will get corrupted. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into the terrain settings right here. Then you're going to hit plus, new layer, and then the new layer will pop up. Then you can name it overlay or whatever you want to name it. I'm going to name it overlay. And we're going to park base. And as you can see here, the image is right there. It's already there. You don't have to search for it in the directory or anything. You can just do it right away. Now, I don't typically do that because I'm lazy and I just don't do it for whatever reason. But this is what you should be doing. So hit OK. OK again. Okay, again, it's going to load up for a second, and then you're going to select where it says grass. This is where your layers, your painting layers are. You're going to collect or select whatever you called it, and then let's just set it to 64 points so I can get a base of what we're working with here. And then you're going to paint it down. As you can see here, the Great Adventure map is now on the No Limits Park file. So now the thing is like, okay, well, how do you know if it's the actual size of what it needs to be? You don't. So this is where the measurement comes in. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit new coaster, then you're going to hit, just name it whatever you want. I'm just going to name it ruler because that's exactly what the purpose is. And you're going to simply make a track of the length of what you measured in here. So I'm gonna make a 155 foot track here. I think we'll just guess. Oh, that's not 155 feet. That is like 10 feet. Whoops. Okay. So I think this is around 155 feet. We're going to hit statistics. Check the length here. We need to go 5 more feet. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Statistics. 1 more foot. Or just about. It doesn't really... If you're not a stickler for that, I mean... That's practically the same, so we're just going to go with that. Okay, so there is your 155 foot ruler. Now, granted, I didn't make it the right way, but that's okay because you can just highlight this whole thing and rotate it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of play around with the terrain settings, like so. We're going to actually hit overlay, and then you're going to go into your settings here, and you're actually going to see the repeats thing right here. So this, you're going to kind of figure it out. It's kind of weird to work with, but I believe if we do that, it'll change the size of it, as you can see. And we have a little bit more of, well, a lot bigger of a image here. So with that being said, you'll just keep messing around with this number until you pretty much get the size you're looking for. Now, I believe the smaller the number, the bigger the map will be. I believe that is the case. Oh, we actually got very close here. So with that being said, your number is going to be different than mine. So don't just set it to 0.00015 or 16, whatever I'm about to set it to, because what will happen is actually the image you take is going to be pretty much dependent on how zoomed in or zoomed out your your images when you take it. This is pretty much right. You can, for demonstration purposes, I'm just gonna leave it like this. But now you will have an accurately sized image for your park file, which is really nice. If this is the completely wrong way to do this, let me know in the comments if there is a better way to do this. I know there's a way to actually get the terrain too to be matched, and like it'll include the buildings and stuff like that. I have no idea how to do that, but I'm sure there's a tutorial somewhere. But people have been asking me how to do this, so this is what I'll do. And hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, whatever. And thanks for watching, guys.